Hello YouTube, and today I'm doing something a little different. I know I promised I wouldn't do another video, but I think I'll just do one because I can. You may notice something odd in front of me or on your screen is the fact that that is not an airliner at all. That's a general aviation aircraft. In fact, this is a Piper Cherokee 180F from Coronado, I think you pronounce it. I'm not too sure. I'm not great at pronouncing things. And I thought I'd do a VFR flight. We're on the ground at Manchester, and we're going to be flying north up to the Lake District and kind of touring the Manchester area, just for a nice scenic VFR flight. I suppose a flying for fun flight, if you will. It's a nice little aeroplane. This it should be a nice little flight. I know that general aviation aircraft would not be parked here. We did look for the parking spots over there where you can see another Cherokee parked up over there, but I couldn't find one. And yes, that is a 737, which is massive compared to this aeroplane. But I just thought I'd do a VFR flight because it's nice, and even though the scenery I've got it's mainly default in FSX, it's quite nice. Just flying around and looking at the different scenery. When we get up there, we'll afterwards we'll land at some airport nearby. If we take a look at the map, which is up here, the Lake District area is kind of up here, and this is the Lake District area over there. And I think once we've flown up to the Lake District, we'll take her down and fly into Leeds Airport, because it's quite an interesting approach there. Or I may fly out and tour kind of that area of Scotland and the islands over there, and then we'll head back in to Leeds Airport. The flight should take around about, well, I'd say an hour. It doesn't really matter about the length of the video. It's not a big deal, really isn't. I can fly as long as I want. I've got all the time in the world to upload it. So, without further ado, we might as well get going. Now, I'm not too sure, because I've only got this add-on today, what all these switches are. But I believe those are fuel pumps and lights. In fact, if I press L, that should turn on all the lights. There we go, because the panel just lit up. And yep, there we go, all the lights are on that need to be on. So we'll start the engine. Very, very nice add-on here that we have. I'm going to add a bit of power, not too much, because we don't need too much. And we'll taxi. There we go. By that 737 is massive. It's got some nice... It's another sound pack that's quite nice that comes with this aeroplane. It is got quite nice sounds as well. Now, I'm not using much power at all, and she's going fairly fast. I'm going to bring that power down a bit. And there we go, we're joining on the taxiway here. Lovely weather. The wind is 153 at 9 knots, so it's not too bad. I believe that's a crosswind. In fact, yes it is. It's a crosswind over from the right-hand side on the runway, but it shouldn't be too much of a big deal. For us, and to be fairly honest, once we get in the air, the crosswind shouldn't affect us. Temperature is 82 degrees Fahrenheit. Yes, 82 degrees. Oh, we're going to have to come across the grass. We'll pretend that didn't happen. 82 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 30 degrees centigrade. It is blisteringly warm today. Because I use real world weather, and I've just been out not so long ago down to one of my local shopping parks, and it got up to about 30 degrees there, and it was blisteringly warm. So we'll taxi onto this runway. I'll probably have to do a VFR flight series, as I think it would be quite a good idea to do this. It'd be quite fun to just have a VFR flight and not always be doing say airliners, although airliners are a lot of fun. We don't need any flaps because, well, this runway is designed to have 747s taking off down it, let alone a small Cherokee, so we'll just put on full power and we'll take off. There's 40 knots. We can rotate at about 80 to 85 knots. So there's 80 and I'll pull back at about 85. Well, that's alright. Trimmed lovely. We don't have retractable gear. There we go. So we want to start flying out over this way. You can see there's an MD-83 down on the ground over there. This is, as you'll notice, an American registered aircraft N6609 Tango, or T, whichever. But I don't know how you change the registrations to British aircraft. I'll probably have to find some replanes for this that have English registrations. So we'll just follow this motorway up for now. Getting to a bit of a harder bank now. I'm not going up above really 2,500 feet because we don't want to be intruding anyone's airspace. I'm going to pull back on the throttle now because we're starting to speed up a little bit, and I just want to keep our speed nice and steady. I don't want to go way too fast or way too slow and stall the thing. But yes, I really like this add-on, I really do. I mean, you'll notice that it's not exactly the highest of quality of add-ons. You know, some of it's a bit, you know, the modelling's not 5-star or anything, but for a nice general aviation aircraft where you're taking in the scenery, not really taking in the aeroplane, it's a lovely aeroplane to fly. It's absolutely amazing to hang fly. I'm going to trim it out a bit, however. And there we go. We can see our pilot in the cockpit. There we are. I'm just maintaining about 1,000 feet, trimmed to perfection here. And as you can see, here's Manchester City. I've never really been into Manchester City. I have flown out of Manchester Airport when we went to Orlando back in May 2015. It's a nice airport, to be fairly honest. It's very, very nice. Orlando Airport. It's a bit on the old side, but it's nice as well. You can see we've got some lakes here. All very nice. The weather's lovely and clear. You can see even the sun shields work. And there you can see the temperature gauge over there. Just following this motorway for now as we leave Manchester City. Put the throttle up because we seem to be dropping some of our speed. I'm trying to keep the speed within what I maintain at the minute, which is around about, I'm not too sure, in 135 knots, about that speed, it seems to be telling me. It's a nice speed to be be flying at. I'm going to trim that nose up a bit. There we go, that's trimmed down, lovely. Right, so we leave off the motorway now and we're heading over to these mountains, so I am going to speed up a bit. There we go. Just speeding up. We're coming to the kind of outskirts of Manchester City now and headed towards the Lake District. Been to the Lake District a couple of times myself. It's a very nice place to go. For those of you who have been to the Lake District, I stayed up in Keswick. Those of you who've obviously been there may have heard of Keswick. I've been told it's quite popular. Stayed there when we had a caravan, but unfortunately we gave it away to some friends and it got burnt down. Some idiots ran past our friend's house and set fire to the caravan and it burnt down, which is a shame really, because it was a nice caravan. And you could go anywhere you wanted to really. Ooh, there was a sudden gust of wind that blew me off course a bit there. Now I am going to start climbing obviously, because we're going to need to clear these hills. I don't think I set the altimeter. No, I hadn't. No, it's set. I'm just approaching around about 2,000 feet. Another motorway with the cars. There. Unfortunately, I do not have my traffic settings on pretty high in my flight simulator, just because it's quite demanding on frame rates, and also it causes my flight sim to crash quite a lot of the time, but I think that's just to do with the age of my computer. It's starting to get old a bit now, but I've seen loads of people that have, you know, very high traffic settings on, and they don't seem to be really affected that much by it. So here we are approaching the Lake District, which is just over here. Now I am going to start levelling off around about 2,500 feet, and climb on if we really need to. So we'll start to level off now. It does look like a very nice aeroplane, although you may notice that the interior design of it's a bit, well, it's not very modern, because this aircraft I believe was designed in 1966. You know, they were kind of into their, I believe it was Art Deco at the time, and they were kind of into this kind of style stuff. But it has a few nice features here, like the map there. You've got a compass and pen. It's a very nice add-on. And to be honest, it wasn't too expensive, this add-on either. It only cost £18, which I'm not too sure what it is in dollars, but I believe it's around $20 to $25, which is an absolute steal for an add-on, to be fairly honest. and for a very, very nice add-on, nonetheless. You can see all the fields down there, the power lines. You can see we're starting to get in within the hills. You can see there are the lakes in the Lake District kind of area. I am keeping an eye out on where our location is and looking out for Leeds Airport. And we're kind of also in the Pennine area, which I believe is somewhere over there. Those are the Pennines somewhere over there. And if you want to, I believe in my local train station, they do the Trans-Pennine service, which takes you into Manchester Airport and places like that. Now we are beginning to speed up, so I'm going to pull away at the throttle and back off from maxing out our speed a little bit too much than we need to. I mean, one add-on that I'm hoping to get fairly soon is Orbex FTX England, just to improve the scenery of England where I live locally. And then I'll probably do some more VFR flights then, because it's not so great now, but we can live with what we've got. Trimming the plane out a bit. It's a bit trimmed nose down. There you can see some more lakes, so I will swing it round a bit. It's not banked too much, we need to increase our speed. I do not want to go below 100 knots while in flight. If anyone is obviously wondering about the add-ons I use for the clouds, because these are not default FSX clouds, well, the sky textures, I know are sky textures for EMB series. I don't have EMB series, but I use them anyway, they work, and they are very, very nice. HDE V2 for the clouds, and I also have the simple sun mod, which just improves the sun reflections and things like that against your aeroplane, because I have like all my aeroplane settings on max, and everything tweaked. It took me a fairly long time to get this all tweaked up. I spent an entire day, test flying, getting everything just how I prefer it, and it's still not complete now, but I hope to at some point complete it. You can see that the lakes are becoming more and more common now, because again we are in the Lake District. Very, very pretty. It's a shame really that there's no airport that's really close to exactly where I live. The closest one's about 20 miles away or so, because I would love to do a VFR flight over kind of my local area, because it is very, very nice. There, the North York Moors kind of area. If you're American watching this video, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about, but if you're English, you probably will. This will probably be my last FSX video with commentary in. There'll be a small snippets of landings of flights that I do, so on and so forth. However, No, nothing was commentary. However, I will use the holidays to begin producing more model review videos and bits and bobs like that, as I would like to do that. We'll fly over this lake, we can descend down a bit. I mean, you wouldn't do this normally, but the water does look very nice in FSX. It's one of the good things about FSX. I mean, some people will disagree with me, but personally, I believe that the water in FSX, default water, is actually rather nice. I mean, that's just my personal opinion. Like I say, you may have your own personal opinion, but I think the water looks quite nice, and I'll show you it anyway. Now in VFR flights, really, you wouldn't do this, and to be fairly honest, I am a bit nervous doing this myself, but there we go, there's one lake. And I believe we're actually close to Keswick. This does look like Keswick, because it had a large slope with a caravan park in. And yes, we do need to climb seriously quickly to get out of the way of these trees. Yes, I believe this is actually Keswick area. We've got a small house down there. Now we've dropped below 100 knots, which is something I didn't want to do. There we go, just trim the nose up as we're climbing. There we go. One of my favourite general aviation aircraft is the Piper Cherokee. Before I had this add-on, I used to fly the default one you get with FSX, but that's pretty poor quality model because it starts off as just an AI traffic GA aircraft. I looked up on YouTube on how to get it working player-wise, as I did with the MD-83 as well. And if you want a tutorial of that, I probably could get around to doing that, and it wouldn't take too long at all. Now, this looks to be the kind of Leeds area, and in fact I'm going to take this moment here to check the map just so I know exactly where we are. So, you can see the kind of direction, and Leeds is straight ahead. So we've flown through the Lake District area. I'm now going to fly straight ahead, and we're going to we'll fly round Leeds Airport, have a tour of that, and then we'll come into land. So, there we go. We don't really need to change our direction much. What I'm going to do is increase our speed slightly. There we go. They have got some nice view settings for this aeroplane. Turned on the red one, I didn't need to. I believe you can see the pappy lights over there. I believe that's Leeds Airport just over there. I mean, they've done the fields nice. You've got to give Microsoft credit for that. They've done the fields rather nice in Flight Sim. However, in some areas, like if you notice on the beach, you'll have half a house at the edge of the beach. They haven't modelled the beaches correctly and bits and bobs like that, which is a shame. But when you've got companies like Orbex and Fly Tampa, for example, that make great sceneries, and Aerosoft, I suppose you could forgive FSX for what they've done. Now we've got some speed back, we don't need such a high power setting. You can see Leeds Airport coming up right now, so we're kind of in the Leeds area, which is probably the biggest city that's near to me, within 200 or so miles. I'm not exactly sure what the distance is. Just keeping our altitude in check as well. And I hope my piloting skills are up to scratch. I mean, I'm no professional pilot, but I hope they're not terrible. Oh, sorry about that. But I hope my piloting skills are somewhat acceptable, if you know what I mean. You can see how Leeds Airport's situated in a hill, and shamefully I have crashed a couple of times coming into land there, so now whenever I'm flying in there I just do an ILS autoland approach. But this thing does not have ILS autoland, so this is going to be very, very interesting. Just pick up some speed. That is a very nice view there. And I like how they've animated the pilot moving his head, looking around. It's a very nice little feature of this add-on. Now I believe I have UK 2000 scenery for Leeds, I'm not too sure. It looks like I don't, from where I am now. If not, again, I'm really sorry, but last time I checked, I did, but it doesn't look like it. So I'm just going to start manoeuvring a bit now so we can get ready to land. It doesn't look like I have the UK 2000 scenery installed, which is a bit of a shame. The wind there, it's a bit of wind pushing in, and I'm going to have to listen to it a bit. The wind's kind of dying down now. Temperature seems to have dropped a bit. I'm not too sure what the winds are like, but it doesn't seem to be too bad. That does look very, very much like default scenery, unfortunately, which is a shame because I would have preferred to have UK 2000 scenery for this, but it doesn't look like I'm going to get it. So I'll have to reinstall that, for some reason it's been uninstalled, which is a shame, but I had thought it wasn't installed. So now I am going to begin slowing down and bringing out some flap for landing, although technically we don't really need it. I mean, no, I don't think we need any flap for landing, because the runway's nice and long. Yeah, that's well and truly default scenery. Seeing as though that's default, I can see a shorter runway that looks like it might be suitable for GA aircraft, so we'll bring it in there, and in fact I am going to pull out some flaps. So you can see it deploying that. We'll deploy a bit more, in fact. And we can do with a bit of a nose up trim. There we go. We'll pull back on the speed because we're kind of in a... Oh, that nose trim is not right. pitch trim out, sorry. Right, we can drop full flap. It does seriously need some nose up trim. There we go, that's better. Right, and we'll now keep our speed. Oh, we were hit by a nasty gust of wind there. Kind of maintain our speed at around about 80 knots for landing. There we go. We've now allowed our speed to drop below 80 knots. There we go, there's the runway. Lovely. Some real disappointment that I thought I had UK 2000 scenery installed. Ah well, I will go and install it after this video. Right, there we go. Bring our speed back nicely. I can see some general aviation parking over there, which would be quite nice to go and park over at. I have to check which airports I have installed for UK 2000, and I may actually do another video tomorrow. It's not for definite. If there isn't one, there isn't one. If there is one, there is one. We can pull back right on the throttle now. But I thoroughly enjoyed making this video, and I'd like to make some more. Here we go. Bit of a choppy approach here, but the wind is perfectly. Idle the power. There we go. Lovely. Lovely. Can bring the flaps in now. There we go. Lovely. Shame really, because the default scenery, it's not very good, to say the least about it. So we'll turn around here. So what I think we'll do is, seeing as though we landed in Leeds, we'll take off from Leeds, and I think I'll take it down to my local airport, which is Newcastle, in the next video that I do. So that'll probably be the next video in my Flying for Fun series that obviously I'm making. Now we need to probably, I don't want to park down there. I'm going to take this taxiway exit here. In fact, no, because that's... Whoa, that was close. I'm alright when I'm flying in the sky. It's manoeuvring on the ground that I'm a bit useless at. So I hope you've enjoyed this first video in my Flying for Fun series. I've again enjoyed making it, and I do enjoy making these videos. If this is my last video, which I don't think it will be, I do believe that I'll probably do another one of these flying for fun videos tomorrow. But as always, I thank you so much for the support that everyone has for this channel, and for all the kind comments that I've been receiving. I mean, I thank you so much. It's well appreciated. I didn't think this channel would get as popular as it is. I mean, it's by no means popular, but it's a lot more popular than what I believed it would be. So, here we are. We're at Leeds. It was a nice little flight there. I hope you have enjoyed it. I have. Again, thank you so much for the support. I really do appreciate it, and it keeps me wanting to continue these videos, as I enjoy them and you seem to enjoy watching them. So thank you so much for watching. Until the next video, which will either be in September or tomorrow, goodbye.